those guys lived apart, didn't they?
Well, yeah, I actually went down to the... George was cunning enough to put them all, instead of paying accommodation for them, put them up in a unit. So they were all there, and it was wall-to-wall mattresses. You went down, there was no beds, it was just mattresses on the floor. And, gee, it was a den of iniquity, I tell you. It was...
I don't think they knew where they were, even.
Yeah. And,
They lived it out, that's for
yeah.
sure. Oh.
You wouldn't want to go back again. Like, once was enough. I only ever went to once, so I would never ever go again.
Yeah.
We were all so very behind what George and Byron were trying to do, so it seemed really natural to not take off the jacket, metaphorically, at the end of the day.
People would sometimes call that method acting, but when you're short of resources and you don't know what scene you're going to shoot that day, you don't know what scene to prepare for or how to go about it. You haven't got time to rehearse it properly. They've cut the other scene, so you're only doing 3 lines. You have to change another line. You may as well be the person for as long as possible on the shoot, you know, because the likelihood when they roll camera is that you're going to say the line like that person. We get off the bikes. The camera's rolling. And Hugh says to me, I don't think it, like you can't be seen talking to me. He's saying, now, Johnny, very important that you keep this hair in order. Keep it out of my face. So what do you do? Do you do what he says, or do you say, no, I don't want to keep your hair in order? When the guy who's the toe cutter tells you to do something and you're in the gang, then you do that, you know.
You lived the role. You lived it. I mean, it was, you know, I mean, the shoots were not regulation actors' equity days. We shot when we needed to. We rode our bikes to and from the locations. We were in costume pretty well the whole day, except when we were sleeping.
I did go to the bank in Carlton, I think, to cash a cheque with white hair, and they wouldn't do it for me.
And I remember going into a restaurant one night dressed up in my bikie gear just by myself. I was driving home somewhere and they wouldn't serve me. They told me they didn't serve people like me. They told me to leave the restaurant.
I wasn't used to that sort of acting, and, you know, you just have to go with it or fight it, and, you know, there's only one way you could go with it. And I mean, people like Sheila Florence and all those people, I mean, she was stunned that they didn't lose their character for how many weeks we were shooting, but she got into it too. You just think, oh, what can you do? You go with it.
Offset at a sort of safe distance that it wouldn't interfere with anything. You'd see the biker gang down there and they'd lit a fire and they'd be booning around and dancing and carrying on. There's always this slightly sinister presence that was perfect and came across in the film beautifully.
It was a kind of a complete immersion, and I think that brought a tremendous lot. They'd walk onto the set and the whole crew would stiffen. There was a tension that would happen, which was fantastic.
I can always remember people on the crew being scared of Hugh, because Hugh, being totally method at that stage, was always 24 hours a day the toe cutter.
I wasn't talking to Hugh. You know, I was talking to the toe cutter. Now, I wasn't in his world, but I was this guy that actually had to communicate with this gang leader and ask him to be there and do things, you know, because he was more of a gang leader than he was a normal person.
We were pumped, yeah. And we played with all of that as a rehearsal process.
They really did degenerate into the animals that they were portraying.